Welcome to the T-Pac Arcade. Today's game is Ordyne for the NEC PC Engine. In this 1989 shoot-'em-up from Namco, you play as a spiky-haired scientist out to thwart an evil doctor who apparently kidnapped your fiancée because she holds the key to activate some kind of atomic machine you've built. Granted, I don't really know the ins and outs of the backstory here, but considering how the last major breakthrough in atomic science went, I have my doubts on whether or not this machine is something worth saving, or whether or not I'm even the good guy to begin with. In any case, Ordyne features 7 rounds for you to pilot your way through, blasting robot henchmen, gaining power-ups, and decommissioning end bosses. There are sky levels, cave levels, and a factory level, all filled with mechanical versions of everything from fish to blood cells to these weird jumping clamshell things. By default, Ordyne gives you a forward shot and arcing ground bombs, which can both be fired simultaneously. You can also collect crystal bundles to buy power-ups, rapid-fire Vulcans, speed-ups, firebombs, missiles, and various cannons that blast huge, flaming, angry faces at anything that stands in your way, like a physical manifestation of the inner rage I feel when I'm stuck in a narrow hallway behind a slow walker. The only problem with these power-ups is that they expire after a short period of time. All except for the stock bomber, which not only gives you a cool spiral shield that absorbs enemy bullets, but also outfits your ship with a Pac-Man mouth that shoots oscillating fireballs. Needless to say, I've added Ordyne to my list of things that are better with Pac-Man. Other entries include pie charts, tennis balls with a slit cut in one side, and literally everything else. This bomber upgrade is also a necessity for the Crystal Dragon boss fight, because it's the most effective way to counter his nasty bean breath. I'm not making that up, by the way. It's a cool looking dragon that fires silly purple beans at you. Which brings me to the aesthetics of Ordyne. You see, the whole visual style of the game is kinda cutesy and kinda cool, but doesn't lean far enough in either direction to make a positive impression. There are certainly interesting graphics, like the fire turtle boss, but nothing feels particularly cohesive or artfully rendered. If this were an 8-bit game, it might come across better, but Ordyne doesn't seem to take advantage of the extra fidelity in its 16-bit palettes and pixel density, and the result feels a little empty. Except for the power-up images in the shop. Those are really well done, and I wanted to buy even the most useless upgrades because they all had these fun Spitfire faces and bubble lettering. It reminds me of when I was in art school and collected all the silly stickers my classmates made. I never had any practical use for stickers, but how could I possibly refuse a cartoon rock with googly eyes that says WOW across the top? As far as sound design goes, the Carnival-esque chiptunes pair really well with the goofier visuals, and the sound effects are all satisfying, at least when they're there. For some reason, Ordyne has no detonating sound when you or a handful of the bosses blow up. If I'm gonna perish in a fiery aircraft explosion, I at least want it to sound a little more epic than, like, choking on a mozzarella stick or something. The most novel aspect of Ordyne is the robot blimps that periodically float by and let you gamble for extra crystals or upgrades. I normally don't like games of chance, but here, the bonuses are stacked in the player's favor to a degree that almost always makes it worth playing. And even if you don't get an upgrade, Ordyne won't punish you too bad. As long as you've got rapid fire enabled on your controller, the game is surprisingly easy for a scrolling shooter with early arcade origins. Until the final level, that is. With all the spinning stage hazards and the confusing final boss pattern, I had to practice that one with a lot of save states. But after I learned the ins and outs, I was able to clear the game legit, with just turbo fire and the allotted credits. My favorite part of Ordyne was trying out the different power-ups. No two shops stock the same ones, so the game actually forces you to experiment based on what's available and how many crystals are in your wallet. But if I could change one thing here, it would be how to collect those crystals in the first place. They drift along a weird curve that makes them hard to grab, and sometimes I ran into stage hazards and other enemies just trying to chase down a bundle. I mean, they do move in an allotted path, but I followed it about as predictably as a plastic bag's route across a busy intersection. Overall, Ordyne may have its lackluster elements, but it won me over in the end. As a testament to that, even after I finished the game with save states, something about it was compelling enough to make me go back again and beat it properly. And now that the spiky-haired scientist has recovered his fiancée and the key to his undisclosed atomic machine, let's hope we aren't all in for a swift and terrible nuclear fallout.
Grab the pretzels and get in the bunker!